In the heart of South Korea, a chilling and mysterious creature has been part of the country's folklore for centuries. Known as the Jangsan Beom, this creature has fascinated and terrified locals, especially in the Jangsan area near Busan. The legend of the Jangsan Beom is deeply woven into the cultural fabric of the region, and its tale is one that has persisted through generations, growing darker and more terrifying over time. The name Jangsan Beom directly translates to the Jangsan tiger, although it is far from being a simple big cat. According to various versions of the legend, the creature is not just an animal, but a supernatural entity with powers that transcend the ordinary. Some believe the Jangsan Beom is a shape-shifting creature, able to transform from a regular tiger into something much more sinister, a terrifying humanoid figure with supernatural strength. The most unsettling part of the legend is its association with dark forces and supernatural abilities, such as heightened senses and extraordinary speed. The origins of the Jangsan Beom legend can be traced back to ancient times. As with many legends, the line between fact and fiction has blurred over the centuries, and the truth remains elusive. One theory suggests that the creature was once a human, a villager living in the Jangsan area. According to folklore, this individual made a pact with dark forces seeking power and immortality. In exchange for their soul, the villager was transformed into the monstrous Jangsan Beom, a creature with immense strength and an insatiable hunger for human flesh. The Jangsan Beom is said to roam the dense forests and mountains of the Jangsan area, its territory extending far into the surrounding wilderness. Locals have long feared the creature, especially when night falls. Stories abound of people venturing into the area, only to vanish without a trace. Some claim to hear eerie growls and rustling in the trees, while others speak of seeing glowing eyes in the darkness, watching from afar. The fear that this creature instills in the community is palpable, and many locals will not even venture near the Jangsan mountain after sunset. In modern times, the Jangsan Beom has become a part of South Korean pop culture, featured in television shows, movies, and books. However, for those who live near the Jangsan area, the creature is no fictional story. It's a real and frightening presence that still lingers in the minds of the people, especially those who live in the rural areas surrounding Busan. Despite the passage of time and advances in technology, the legend persists, serving as a reminder of the mysteries that lie in the shadows of the natural world. As we continue to explore the Jangsan Beom legend, we will uncover eyewitness accounts, unsettling encounters, and the ongoing impact of this mysterious creature on the people of South Korea. The question remains, is it merely a product of folklore? Or is there something more to the Jangsan Beom that continues to haunt the Jangsan area to this day? Stay tuned as we venture deeper into the terrifying legend of the Jangsan Beom. The Jangsan Beom may be rooted in ancient folklore, but its grip on the local community remains strong, fueled by first-hand accounts from those who claim to have encountered the creature. The fear surrounding this elusive entity is real and deeply embedded in the lives of the people living in the Jangsan area of Busan. Many locals will tell you they would never venture near the mountain at night, not because of the usual dangers of the wilderness, but because of the unspeakable terror associated with the Jangsan Beom. Several eyewitness reports describe disturbing encounters with the creature. One of the most widely known stories comes from a man who lived near the base of Jangsan Mountain. He described an experience that would haunt him for the rest of his life. One late evening, he decided to take a walk, as many in the area do, to clear their minds. As he entered the woods, he felt an odd sense of unease, as if something was watching him. The air felt heavier, the rustling of leaves amplified in the stillness of the night. Suddenly, out of the corner of his eye, he noticed a large figure moving through the trees. At first, he thought it might be a wild animal, but as the figure drew closer, he realized that what he was looking at was unlike anything he had ever seen before. The creature was large, covered in dark fur, with glowing yellow eyes. that seemed to pierce through the darkness. The man described it as having the body of a large beast, but standing on two legs, almost like a human. The creature's eyes glowed with an unnatural light, its stare fixating on him with an intense, predatory gaze. Frozen with fear, the man stood motionless, hoping it would leave him alone. But to his horror, the creature began moving toward him with incredible speed, its heavy steps causing the ground to tremble beneath him. Panic set in, and the man turned to run, but the creature was faster. He could hear its footsteps closing in, the air thick with its breath, until he tripped and fell to the ground. His heart pounded in his chest as he awaited the worst. But then, just as quickly as it had appeared, the Jangsan Beom stopped. It seemed to hesitate, and then, without warning, it turned and disappeared into the woods, vanishing into the thick fog that enveloped the mountain. The man was left breathless, terrified, and bewildered by what had just happened. What was it that made the creature stop? Was it simply a matter of it losing interest, or was there something more to the encounter? This man's story isn't unique. Other locals have reported seeing strange shadows darting between the trees, hearing guttural growls from a distance, and even witnessing glowing eyes staring out from the forest. Some claim to have felt a cold chill that washed over them as they ventured too close to the heart of Jangsan Mountain. These experiences are often accompanied by a sense of being watched, an overwhelming feeling that the Jangsan Beom is always nearby, waiting for the right moment to strike. Local hunters and hikers, too, have claimed to encounter the creature, describing it as a huge, towering figure with immense strength. They say that the Jangsan Beom is capable of moving with lightning speed and is capable of vanishing into the fog without a trace. Some even believe that the creature has the ability to control the natural environment around it, manipulating the weather and the fog to conceal its presence. What's truly unsettling is that many who have encountered the creature describe an odd, supernatural feeling that lingers long after the encounter. People say that the fear doesn't simply end with the sighting, but follows them. They report hearing strange sounds when they are far away from the mountain, or feeling an eerie presence in their homes. This phenomenon is something that locals refer to as the mark of the Jangsan Beom, as if the creature's curse continues to haunt them long after they leave the area. With these accounts piling up, it's clear that the Jangsan Beom has become more than just a legend. It's a terrifying reality for those who have crossed paths with it. What exactly the creature wants remains unclear, but one thing is for certain. The fear it instills in those who encounter it is very real. Whether the Jangsan Beom is a supernatural force or simply an unknown predator, it continues to terrorize the people living near Jangsan Mountain, leaving behind a trail of fear and unanswered questions. But the mystery of the Jangsan Beom isn't over. It's just getting started. The terror surrounding the creature only deepens as we continue to explore the origins of its power and what it might truly be after. To understand the true terror of the Jangsan Beom, we must look beyond the eyewitness accounts and delve into its origins. The legend of the Jangsan Beom has evolved over centuries, blending elements of local folklore, mythology, and the collective fears of the people living in the Busan area. According to some versions of the tale, the creature wasn't always a monstrous beast. In fact, it was once human. A man who lived in the Jangsan region long before the creature became the terrifying legend it is today. The story goes that this man, desperate for power and wealth, turned to dark forces in an effort to change his fate. In his pursuit of forbidden knowledge, he made a pact with malevolent spirits that resided deep in the forests of Jangsan Mountain. These spirits, often associated with the more sinister aspects of Korean mythology, are said to be ancient and powerful entities that can bend the laws of nature itself. As the man made his unholy bargain, he was promised strength and dominion over the land, but at a terrible price. The exact details of this transformation vary, but one thing is consistent in all accounts. The man was transformed into a beast, both terrifying and unnatural. He lost his human form, turning into something more monstrous, more deadly. The Jangsan Beom became a hybrid creature, part human, part beast, with unnatural strength, speed, and a fierce, insatiable hunger. His once human appearance was now nothing more than a terrifying shadow lurking in the depths of the woods, waiting for the opportunity to strike. This shift from man to monster was not only physical. The man's mind was also corrupted by the dark pact he had made. The beast that emerged was not driven by any natural instincts, but by a supernatural rage and desire to hunt. The Jangsan Beom was not just a predator of the forest. It was a symbol of the consequences of meddling with the forces of darkness. Local elders believed that the transformation wasn't just a one-time event. It was a curse that would continue for generations. According to some versions of the legend, the Jangsan Beom still roams the area to this day, the cursed spirit of the man's pact, driving it to hunt and terrorize anyone who dares to venture too close to the mountain. What's more unsettling is the belief that the Jangsan Beom is not a single creature, but rather the manifestation of multiple entities that share a similar dark origin. Some say that the creature's form can change, shifting from a large, hulking beast to a more humanoid figure, depending on the creature's desires or the situation at hand. This versatility only adds to the fear that locals have when they speak of the Jangsan Beom. No one knows what it might look like next. The connection between the Jangsan Beom and other creatures of Korean folklore is also an important part of its mythos. In Korean mythology, there are stories of Beom, tigers, who possess supernatural powers, often being able to shapeshift or control elements of the natural world. These tigers were not just wild animals, but beings with a connection to the spiritual realm. Some theories suggest that the Jangsan Beom might be a twisted version of these legendary tigers, transformed by the dark pact into something far more dangerous. The creature's association with tigers is not just symbolic. It is believed that the Jangsan Beom has the ability to summon or control certain aspects of nature, particularly the fog and dense forests of Jangsan Mountain. Many who venture into the area report experiencing an unnatural mist that rolls in, making the landscape feel oppressive and disorienting. The fog is said to be an extension of the creature's power, enabling it to conceal its movements and disorient its victims. The Jangsan Beom has mastered the art of manipulating its environment to make its prey feel lost, ensuring that any encounter with it is even more terrifying. This dark connection to the land and the natural elements also ties the Jangsan Beom to ancient traditions in Korean culture, where the mountains are often seen as sacred places, home to spirits and deities. The creature's presence in Jangsan Mountain is a reminder of the deep connection between the physical and spiritual worlds in Korean folklore. Its existence is not just a matter of superstition, but a reflection of the belief that nature itself is alive with spiritual energy, capable of creating both life and terror. The legend of the Jangsan Beom serves as a warning, not only about the dangers of meddling with dark forces, but also about the power that the natural world holds. It is a reminder that there are forces in the mountains, in the shadows, and in the mist that we may never fully understand. And the Jangsan Beom is just one of many creatures that roam the hidden corners of Korea, waiting for those who dare to test their power. As we continue to explore the terrifying legend of the Jangsan Beom, it becomes clear that its origins are tied to a deep, ancient fear of the unknown. The creature's transformation from man to beast is a chilling tale of how greed and desperation can lead to unimaginable consequences. And as long as the Jangsan Beom remains a part of South Korea's folklore, its legacy of terror will continue to haunt the region, keeping its eerie presence alive in the hearts of those who dare to listen. As the legend of the Jangsan Beom endures, its presence looms large in the culture and folklore of South Korea. Despite being a creature rooted in ancient myths, the stories of the Jangsan Beom are far from over. Even in modern times, locals and visitors alike still claim to encounter strange occurrences on Jangsan Mountain. From unsettling noises echoing through the trees to the feeling of being watched by an unseen presence, the Jangsan Beom remains an ever-present part of the region's mysterious aura. One of the most curious aspects of this urban legend is how it continues to evolve with the times. While the creature's origins are steeped in ancient folklore, many contemporary accounts suggest that the Jangsan Beom has adapted to the modern world. People report sightings of shadowy figures that seem to flicker in and out of existence, almost as though the creature is capable of blending into the very fabric of the environment around it. Some even claim to have witnessed the creature manipulating the fog and shadows in ways that seem almost supernatural, as if it's aware of the technological advances that have shaped the world. What makes the Jangsan Beom so captivating is its ability to tap into our deepest fears. This isn't a creature that relies on brute force alone. It's a master of psychological terror. It thrives on the isolation and fear that come with being in an unfamiliar wooded landscape. Those who venture too far into the forests surrounding Jangsan Mountain often find themselves disoriented, unable to tell which direction they came from. The thick mist and dense trees create a sense of claustrophobia, and many report hearing strange sounds or feeling as if something is just out of sight. An invisible predator waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The power of the Jangsan Beom doesn't just lie in physical encounters, but in the psychological impact it has on those who hear the stories. The creature embodies the fear of the unknown, the terror of something out there that cannot be seen or fully understood. The way it seems to manipulate both the environment and the minds of its potential victims makes it a formidable force, one that continues to haunt the collective consciousness of the people living in the region. Interestingly, some people believe that the Jangsan Beom is not merely a supernatural creature, but a manifestation of the region's troubled past. Jangsan Mountain, like many places steeped in folklore, has a history that is filled with both conflict and mystery. The land around Busan has witnessed wars, social upheaval, and the rise and fall of countless figures. The Jangsan Beom could be seen as a reflection of the darkness that has settled on the land over centuries, whether it's the result of ancient spiritual forces or simply the collective fear of generations. The creature seems to tap into the cultural memory of the people, feeding off their anxieties and amplifying them in ways that continue to terrorize modern-day locals. Despite its terrifying reputation, there are those who continue to seek out the Jangsan Beom, drawn by its mystery and allure. Some are amateur ghost hunters, eager to capture evidence of the creature's existence. Others are simply curious individuals, hoping to witness the phenomenon for themselves. Still, others are driven by a more sinister desire to challenge the legend, to face the Jangsan Beom head-on and prove that it is nothing more than a myth. But these encounters rarely go as planned. For those brave enough to venture into the heart of Jangsan Mountain, the creature's haunting presence lingers long after the encounter. Locals caution against wandering too far, particularly after dark, when the Jangsan Beom is said to be most active. Its eyes, glowing with an eerie light, are said to watch from the shadows, tracking anyone who dares to enter its domain. And though many who venture into the area come away with only strange stories and unnerving feelings, there are a few who claim that the Jangsan Beom left a permanent mark on their psyche, a deep sense of unease that they cannot shake. The Jangsan Beom is more than just a creature. It is a cultural symbol, a reminder of the power of legends and the fear they can evoke. It serves as a warning to those who might take the land and its myths too lightly. In a world where rationality often prevails, the Jangsan Beom remains a testament to the mysteries that still thrive in the shadows, beyond the reach of our understanding. As we conclude our exploration of this haunting legend, it's clear that the Jangsan Beom will continue to fascinate and terrify for generations to come. Whether it's an ancient myth brought to life or simply a product of the human imagination, one thing is certain: the legend of the Jangsan Beom will not be forgotten. It remains an integral part of the folklore of South Korea, a creature of darkness and mystery that may never be fully understood, but one that will always evoke fear, respect, and curiosity. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the heart of the Jangsan Beom legend. If you have any thoughts or stories of your own, feel free to share them in the comments below. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe for more stories about the strange, the spooky, and the unexplained. I'll see you in the next video.